guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's story is one that's going to leave you shocked. We're talking about the late singer Aaliyah and how she may have been the person who saw everything that was happening behind the scenes with some of the most powerful men in hip-hop. So what if Aaliyah wasn't just a victim of R. Kelly? What if she was also caught in something way bigger? A secret circle of famous men who were doing really disturbing things and protecting each other while doing it. Let's start from the beginning. There are now people saying that Aaliyah was the thread that connected big names like R. Kelly, Jay-Z, and Diddy, and not in a good way. It wasn't just about music or parties. She was really close to all three of these men, and now it seems like those relationships weren't just random. There's even an old photo of Jay-Z with Aaliyah when she was underage that's going around again. Some people forgot that Jay-Z was also close to Aaliyah, not just R. Kelly and Damon Dash. But the story doesn't stop there. Jay-Z also had a relationship with Foxy Brown when she was underage too, and now people are connecting the dots. So was Aaliyah just another young girl in the wrong place at the wrong time? Or was she someone who knew too much? Everyone knows by now that R. Kelly married Aaliyah when she was just 15 years old. That was illegal and wrong. He even faked documents to make her seem older. Some reports say she was even pregnant during that time. But here's what people don't talk about enough. R. Kelly wasn't doing all this alone. There were whispers that other powerful men knew what was happening. Some may have even helped him, or at least kept quiet to protect themselves. According to the video, Aaliyah may have written about this in her private journal. She used to write in it all the time. What if that journal had secrets about what she saw? What if she had written about what these men did? People believe Aaliyah wasn't just in bad relationships. She may have been right in the middle of something really dark and dangerous. One of the biggest questions people have is this: why did Jay-Z work with R. Kelly after everything he must have known? Jay-Z made whole albums with him, and fans say it's hard to believe he didn't know about R. Kelly's past with Aaliyah. In fact, someone in the video said that what really made them angry was seeing Jay-Z do music projects with R. Kelly after he already knew R. Kelly was with Aaliyah as a child. That was like saying he didn't care what had happened, and that's not all. If Jay-Z knew what R. Kelly was doing, why didn't he say anything? Why keep working with him? Then we've got Diddy, another big name in hip-hop, who was very close to Aaliyah. There are many photos of them at parties together, even cozy ones from Diddy's 4th of July party in 2000, where Aaliyah, Diddy, Jay-Z, Damon Dash, and even Jennifer Lopez were all together. One photo even shows them lying in bed at that same party. That made people start asking questions. What kind of things was Aaliyah really seeing at those events? Was she just a guest, or did she witness things that others didn't want the world to know about? People now believe that Aaliyah may have been at the center of a lot more than just music drama. Her connections with all three men, R. Kelly, Jay-Z, and Diddy, might be part of a much bigger story. Let's continue the story with even more disturbing details that have been coming to light. This part of the story is especially serious. People are now saying that Aaliyah wasn't just part of shady relationships. She may have been transported across borders for secret hookups. Yes, there are reports claiming that she was moved around in ways that were totally illegal, especially for someone underage. And here's where it gets even worse. Diddy has faced similar allegations in his own trial. He's been accused of flying women across countries for reasons that weren't about business or music. But Aaliyah wasn't the only one. Rihanna also became part of this conversation. Her former publicist, Jonathan Hay, said that federal agents questioned him about Rihanna being transported illegally by Jay-Z. This means the same names keep popping up: Jay-Z, R. Kelly, and Diddy. Jonathan said that the questions weren't just about Rihanna, but about other girls too. And guess what? R. Kelly's name was also mentioned during those questions. So this wasn't just some rumor. This was part of a real federal investigation. That's what makes it so scary. Another thing that has come up is just how much Aaliyah may have witnessed. These men were not just business partners. They were always around each other, working on music, going to parties, and hanging out behind the scenes. So if Aaliyah was part of that circle, then it makes sense that she saw everything. People think she might have even kept track of it all in her journal. There are stories saying she was smart, quiet, and always writing. That means she might have had details no one else knew. Think about it. If you're a young girl surrounded by some of the biggest names in music, and you see them doing things that feel wrong, what do? Some believe she wrote it all down. Others believe that she even had receipts on these men, meaning proof. And when we look at other women who were around these same men, we start seeing a scary pattern. It wasn't just Aaliyah. There was also Cassie, Foxy Brown, and Rihanna. Each of them had troubling experiences with at least one of the three men. Once people started putting all the stories together, they realized that the pattern was way too clear. These men all had something in common. They liked to be in control, and they used money, fame, and power to get what they wanted. For example, Diddy was accused by Cassie of forcing her to hook up with other men while he watched. He paid for her house, her car, her clothes. But it wasn't because he was being nice. It was a way to control her every move, even getting into her medical records. That's next-level control. Then there's Jay-Z. People have said that he took advantage of Foxy Brown when she was just 15 years old. He was 27 at the time. And people who went to school with Foxy said that Jay-Z used to pick her up from school. He even paid for her hair and nails while she was still in high school. And of course, R. Kelly was already known for what he did to Aaliyah. He even married her in secret and got her pregnant, all before she was old enough to legally say yes. He made sure she became his wife so she couldn't testify against him in court. People are now asking if all these men were doing the same thing and they were all close to Aaliyah, how much did she really know? Did they try to silence her? And if so, well now, let's talk about what happened in Diddy's trial. Even though people expected serious consequences, what went down in the courtroom left many stunned. Witnesses actually stood on the stand and told the court that Diddy had intercourse with Cassie while she was unconscious. Not only that, but the supplies she was given came from Diddy himself. Still, he was found not guilty of the most serious charges. Yes, he was convicted on 2 counts, and he could face up to 20 years, but it's not that simple. Judges usually combine charges, and that means he might not serve the full time. He's already been in jail since September 2024, and if he gets good time credit for behaving well, 15% of his sentence could be reduced. So even though this case was supposed to bring justice, it just sparked more anger. People felt like Diddy's fame and money helped him dodge real punishment. And what made people even angrier was the pattern they saw, a pattern that also pointed straight back to Jay-Z and R. Kelly. It made fans start wondering again how all these men stayed protected for so long. Unlike Diddy and R. Kelly, Jay-Z hasn't been to court yet. But that doesn't mean his name hasn't come up. In fact, there are reports that he's being looked at for similar crimes, especially involving Rihanna when she was just starting out. Remember Jonathan Hay, Rihanna's old publicist? After his name was brought up in a popular documentary, he posted online that his phone had been blowing up. He said that the things he and his business partner had been through were crazy, and that the full story had never been told. Jonathan said the federal task force once pulled him into a secret meeting and told him they were watching Jay-Z closely. They said Jay was involved in something that included underage girls, including Rihanna. They even said there was a whole ring of girls, not just one, and that ring also linked back to R. Kelly. According to Jonathan, what he heard in that room shocked him. He finally realized how big and dangerous the situation really was. And now, fans are looking back at every old rumor, every blurry photo, and every quiet moment, wondering what was real all along. One of the biggest bombshells came from a lawsuit filed by Cassie. Originally, the lawsuit was 60 pages long, but it got cut down to 35 before it became public. But here's the twist. What was removed might have been even more explosive than what was left. Sources say the original lawsuit actually named Jay-Z and Beyoncé. Why? Because they were at a Diddy party and supposedly saw him hit Cassie and push her down. The lawsuit didn't list the exact time and place, probably to protect privacy, but that small piece of info changes everything. People close to the case said that Jay-Z's legal team worked fast to make sure his name was taken out of the final lawsuit. They even said he and his lawyers knew about the lawsuit months before it was filed. That gave them time to clean things up. So now fans are wondering, what else did Jay-Z erase? If he and Beyoncé really saw what happened and said nothing, what does that mean about who they really are? What else have they seen and stayed quiet about? And here's the craziest part. Some people now believe that Aaliyah knew everything. They think she saw what was happening, wrote it all down, and may have been ready to speak up. But before she could, she was gone. Could her death have been more than just an accident? Stay tuned, like, share, and subscribe, because in the next episode, we're opening up a part of the story that no one saw coming.